Litam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Who wants to lead us today in chanting 21 times? And Prahalad, Varun, Shaurya and Srinidhi, can each of you come up with one point why we have to chant?
Yeah, can I try?
Yes.
This is we have to chant because so that we can engage in Krishna's service.
Okay, very good. So chanting is the best form of serving the Lord. Okay, that's right.
Mataji, can I go next?
Yes.
Chanting gives us a way to connect with Krishna and help us go back to him.
Very nice, Srinidhi. So chanting is the way to connect with Krishna, and the objective of chanting is to go back to him. That's beautiful.
Mataji, can I say something?
Yes, Varun, I was missing you for so long. Your brother joined last week. How are you doing, Varun? Varun Kasturi, right?
Yes.
Okay. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. Go ahead, Varun.
Chanting helps because it helps us engage in Krishna service.
Very good. So chanting helps us engage in Krishna's service. That's beautiful. Okay. And who else is there? Shaurya, do you want to say why we should chant?
It helps us cleanse our mind and soul.
Very nice. Yes. It helps us cleanse our mind and the soul. Right. Okay. That's a beautiful answer. Anybody else? So chanting has all this. It's the way to please Krishna. It's a way to connect with Krishna. Its objective is to reach Krishna. It cleanses the mind and helps us do better service. So that's why we have to chant every day. Okay, so who's going to lead us today in chanting? So as we have every day, we pick up one volunteer to chant on unmute, and everyone else will chant along with you on mute.
There's I think there's a blue thing on your screen. Is that only me or does everybody see that? There's a blue thing on your
Yeah, there is.
Are you not seeing my screen?
You can see your screen, but there's two gray blue things.
I don't know why I'm not able to see anything.
You just moved. Yeah, you were just moving it. I don't know.
How is it?
It may be the participants menu and the
Yeah. Or maybe the thumbnail view and stuff.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, Divyansh and Aditya Rajiv also has joined. Who wants to chant 21 times? Who is a great person who's going to lead the chanting today?
I can do it, Mataji.
Very good. Thank you, Aditya Rajiv. I like the way you chant with so much love and devotion, and your And it's I can see that you're concentrating on chanting. So you start now and we will join you on mute. Okay, please
Okay.
everyone chant along with him. Yeah, start.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
That was so awesome, Raditya. Thank you so much. Are you chanting every day?
Yes, Mataji.
How many rounds do you chant every day?
I try to do as many as I can. Right now, I'm keeping 2.
Very good. That's great. Yeah. Always you keep a fixed number, even if it's 1. Or even say, for example, less than 1, but then keep a fixed number, right? That will please the Lord like anything. And what do you mean by fixed number? So if you keep 2 as your fixed number, then one day you miss and chant 1, then that 1 goes into 1. You need to carry over and somehow chant that also the next day, like 3 rounds you can chant. So Krishna likes that. If we give a number, and then if we stick to the number, and some days we are not able to do that and we compensate, but we make up for that, then the Lord gives us strength to chant more and more. Okay, so we did 13th chapter the last week, and we are going to do what chapter now?
14th chapter.
14th, yes. Oops, I think. Did I miss the shloka? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm going to share from Veda base now. Here in chapter 14. Yes, let me. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
What is the title of chapter 14? What's the title?
The three modes of material nature.
The three modes of material nature. Yes, it's a very, very powerful chapter. It's a powerful topic. Krishna dedicated one whole chapter for that. So let's do text 1. Actually, I want you people to memorize instantly in the class only. It's so easy if you concentrate, and we are doing line by line, and we are doing the meaning also. So it's easy to memorize. So please repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Param Bhuya Pravakshyami
Parambuya parakshami.
Param Bhuya Pravakshyami
Parambuya pravakshami.
Param Bhuya Pravakshyami.
Parambuya pravakshami.
Can anyone say this line without seeing?
Mataji, I
Can I
can.
try, Mataji? Can I try?
Yes, Varun.
Prahlad, this is Prahlad.
Okay, did Varun also wanted to try?
Yes.
Okay, Varun, go ahead first and then Prahlad.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Parambuya Pravakshyami.
Good job. Prahlad?
Parambuya pravakshami.
Good job, Prahlad. Shaurya?
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuya Parakshami.
Good job. Okay, this is how we are going to learn. We are going to memorize each line instantly. Okay. Jnananam jnanam uttamam.
Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Jnananam jnanam uttamam.
Jnananam Jnanamuttamam.
The last and the final time. Jnananam jnanam uttamam.
Jnananam Jnanamuttamam.
Okay, who can say this line?
I do it, Mataji. This is Shaurya.
Yes, Shaurya.
Jnananam Jnanamuttamam.
Perfect, Shaurya. Okay, so let's do the two lines together. Param bhuya pravakshyami jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Param Bhuya Pravakshami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam.
Once more. Param bhuya pravakshyami jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Parambuya parakshami. Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Okay, who can try to say this line, these two lines without seeing?
Mataji, Varun can.
Yes, Varun.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Parambuya Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam.
Perfect. Anyone else? Okay, let's go to the third line.
Can I try?
Yes, Prahlad.
Param Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Parambuya pravakshami jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Okay, good. Okay, let's go to the third line, and I'm going to say only 3 times, and let's see who can repeat it without in the fourth time without seeing. So let's concentrate. Yajñatva munayah sarve.
Yajñatva munayah sarve.
Sarve.
Yajñatva munayah sarve.
Jnanva munaya sarve.
The last time. Yajñatva munayah sarve.
Yajñatva munaya sarve.
Okay, who can say this?
Mataji can.
I'll try, Mataji. This is Prahlad.
Okay, Prahlad and then Varun.
Yajnatva munaya sarve.
Perfect. Varun.
Yajnatva munaya sarve.
Good job. Okay, the last line. I want 2 other volunteers for this line. Okay, let's see who's that. Param siddhim ito gataha.
Can Varun?
Can I do it,
Yes.
Divyansh?
Yes, but we are going to first do it 3 times with me. So first I say and you repeat it, okay? Param siddhim ito gataha.
Param siddhimido gataha.
Param siddhim ito gataha.
Param
Param siddhimido gataha.
Param siddhim ito gataha.
Param siddhimido gataha.
Okay, who can say these 2 lines?
Mataji, can Varun?
I think Divyansh wanted to say, right? Divyansh?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Divyansh.
So the 5th line and the 4th line.
Yeah,
Yajnata Yajnata munaya sarve param siddhim ito gataha.
good job, Divyansh. Okay, Varun.
Yajnatva munaya sarve. Param siddhimito gata.
That's perfect, Varun. Okay, now we are going to do the whole shloka. Repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha.
Param Bhuya Pravakshyami
Parambuya pravakshami
Jnananam Jnanamuttamam
Nyatva munayas. Oh, jnanam uttamam.
Jnananam Jnanamuttamam
Jnanam uttamam.
Yajnatva Munaya Sarve
Yajnatva munaya sarve.
Param Siddhim Ito Gataha.
Param siddhimito gata.
Who can say this without saying?
Can Varun?
Yes, Varun.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Param Bhuya Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajnatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhimito Gata.
Perfect, Varun. Okay, so let's go to the synonyms. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. What does that mean? Anyone can answer.
Krishna said.
Blessed Lord said, or the Supreme Personality of
Yes.
Godhead said.
Yes. Param.
Transcendental.
Okay. I shall speak.
Pravakshami.
Good. Perfection.
Siddhim.
Okay. And the supreme.
Bhagavan.
Uttamam.
Good job.
Okay.
Knowing.
Nyatva.
Jnatva.
Good job. Of all knowledge.
Jnananam.
Jnanamam.
Knowledge.
Jnanam.
Jnanam.
Attained.
Gata.
Very good. From this world.
Ita.
Good job. Okay, now let's go line by line. Tell me the meaning of Param Bhuya Pravakshyami. What is the meaning of Param Bhuya Pravakshyami?
Again, Krishna will speak about the transcendental knowledge.
Yes, again, I shall speak the knowledge that is transcendental. Okay. Jnananam jnanam uttamam. Jnananam jnanam uttamam. What is this line? Can you say the meaning of this line only?
Of all knowledge, the transcendental knowledge is the supreme.
Yes, of all knowledge, this knowledge is supreme. Okay, what he's going to speak. Yajñatva munaya sarve. What's the meaning of only this line? Yajñatva munaya sarve.
The which with the transcendental knowledge, the sages have
That's right. All sages knowing that. Yag means all sages knowing that. What happened to them? That's in the last line. Param siddhim ito gataha. What does that mean?
You can get transcendental perfection in this world.
They have attained perfection from this world. Means they have attained the supreme perfection. Okay, now who can read the translation? Prahlad, do you want to read the translation? Are you able to hear? We are not able to hear Prahlad. Is anyone able to hear?
No.
Okay, Aditya, do you want to read?
Sure, Mataji. There's a box on the screen covering a little bit. I think it's your chat participant window. Okay.
Yeah.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Again, I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection."
Right. So I'm going to ask you questions from this. Tell me two adjectives for this knowledge.
What is that, Mataji?
Tell me two things that Krishna says about this knowledge.
He says it's the supreme and the best of all knowledge.
Very good.
And
he says it's first one is supreme wisdom. Second one is best of all knowledge. Okay. And who has got this knowledge before?
the sages.
Very good. And after getting the knowledge, what happened to them?
They were able to achieve the transcendental perfection.
Yeah, here the wording is supreme perfection. So Krishna is giving us the knowledge, which is the supreme wisdom, which is the best of all knowledge. And knowing this knowledge, the sages have attained the supreme perfection. So knowing this knowledge, what can we attain?
I can't see the screen.
Knowing this knowledge, what can we attain?
The supreme perfection.
Yes, the supreme perfection. Yes. So it's not an ordinary knowledge. It's a wonderful knowledge that we can attain. So Srila Prabhupada starts the purport like this. Who wants to read? Is there a volunteer who wants to read?
The purport.
Yes, the one that's. Oh, are you seeing my screen?
No, we can still see the slideshow only.
The slideshow only, yeah. I want you, are you seeing the slide? Knowledge of Krishna?
Yeah, that's what we can see.
Yes.
Okay, read that. Read the slide.
Oh, okay. From the 7th chapter to the end of the 12th chapter, Sri Krishna in detail reveals the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chapter 7, Knowledge of the Absolute. Chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme. Chapter 9, The Most Confidential Knowledge. Chapter 10, The Opulence of the Absolute. Chapter 11, The Universal Form. Chapter 12, Devotional Service. Chapter 13, Nature, the Enjoyer, and Consciousness.
Thank you. So now, who's going to explain to me in short what is chapter 7 about? Okay, here it's mentioned the title is Knowledge of the Absolute. Do you remember any shloka from the 7th chapter? And what is Krishna saying in that? No? Let's go back and see the memorization shlokas. Oops, we did so much in chapter 7. 5, 7, 8, 10, 14, 15, 16, 19, 23, 25, 26, and 27. Any one of you remember any of these shlokas? One of these shlokas? No? Okay, Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya. Anyone knows? Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya? Okay, so in chapter 7, let me explain to you. Krishna is saying that how there are two kinds of energies. One is material energy, one is spiritual energy. We are the spiritual energy and we are exploiting the material energy, and how Krishna is present as everywhere, as taste in water, as a light in the sun and the moon, everything he has said. And also he says 4 kinds of people that don't surrender to him, 4 kinds of people who surrender to him. Then among them, a person who is in knowledge after many, many, many births of being a jnani, then he finally surrenders to Krishna, that he is all in all. So that's what he describes in chapter 7. And chapter 8 is attaining the absolute. Anyone remembers any of these shlokas? Antakale chamameva. No? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Varun, Prahlad. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So were you able to hear me so long, whatever I said?
Yes.
Okay. So these are all important chapters and important shlokas that we should not afford to forget. Okay. So in the 8th chapter, he says how to attain him. What is this? Do anyone remember the shloka? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. It's whatever a person remembers at the time of death, what happens?
He gets born as that, or if he's thinking about Godhead, then he's going to go to God.
Very good, Divyansh. Yes, that's what he's saying in chapter 8, how to attain him. And the shortcut is whatever you remember at the end of your life, you will become that. But it's not easy to remember Krishna at the end of the life because it's going to be so painful leaving this body. So we need to practice every day, right? So that's what we learned in chapter 8 and chapter 9. We did so many shlokas. Anyone remembers any of this? Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. Maybe you weren't there. Okay, so chapter 9 is most confidential knowledge. So in chapter 8, he's giving knowledge of the absolute. In chapter 9, more about how to attain him, who will attain him. And there are 4 things that you can offer to Krishna, and he'll be very accepting it with pleasure. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam Ashnami prayatat manaha. Can anyone say the meaning of this?
Mataji, can I pick like any verse?
Yes.
Okay, can I say I say
Not able
9.1.
Yes.
Okay. Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyan Sisakam Kartumabhyayam.
Very good, Varun. Good job. So Krishna is saying about this knowledge, how it's a king of knowledge, secret of all secrets, and very nicely, and he develops that patram pushpam phalam toyam just by offering a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water. He accepts it with whatever we offer with devotion, he accepts it. Okay. Chapter 10. Anyone remembers any shloka from chapter 10? Opulence of the absolute. Krishna is saying more knowledge about himself. That how he is everything. How is yes.
Can I see a sloka?
Yes. Why not? We are expecting you, Bhagavad Gita queen.
I want to say Param Bhuya Pravakshami.
Yes, go ahead.
Param Brahma, Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Shasvatam Divyam Adidevam Majam Vibham.
Vrinda, you are our savior. Very, very good, Vrinda. Good job, Vrinda. Good job.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Anybody, you want to say anything in 11th chapter? Oops, everyone forgot what shloka we did in the 11th chapter. 12th chapter. Okay, 11th chapter. What is the title of the 11th chapter? Universal form, right? He's showing the universal form. We saw how Arjuna was very, very scared. Vrinda, do you want to recite anything from the 11th chapter? Okay, maybe she's busy. Okay, 12th chapter. So 12th chapter is, what's the title of the 12th chapter? Why am I not hearing anyone? Oops, so much silence. I'm scared. I am all alone. Is everyone there? Whoever says yes will get an instant gulab jamun.
I'm here.
Okay. So 12th chapter, he says about the devotional service. And 13th chapter, we read nature, enjoyer, and consciousness. Anyone can say, are you able to say any one shloka from the 13th chapter?
Can I say 13.8?
Yes, Varun.
Manitammadambittam ahimsakshantarajagamachayogasanam sotam sarimatavinigraha.
Perfect, Varun. Thank you so much. So Krishna is saying, see, this is how Prabhupada is summarizing. Chapter 7 is knowledge of the absolute. Chapter 8 is attaining the supreme. Chapter 9 is most confidential knowledge, more knowledge. And chapter 10 is opulence of the absolute, how Krishna is present everywhere. And then chapter 11 is universal form. Then Arjuna asks, can you please show me? Then he shows the universal form and Arjuna is scared. Oh, no, please Krishna, come back to your original form. And I'm so scared. Then Krishna speaks about devotional service, how to do bhakti yoga to him, how he likes the devotees very much. Then 13th chapter, we saw the knowledge starting with humility, and then so many things that we saw in the 13th chapter. Okay. Okay, who can read this? Sri Lasya, I want to hear your voice. Are you there? I don't want you to recite a shloka, but just read this slide.
Can I read the slide, Mataji?
Yes,
Divyansh.
Divyansh. Yes, Divyansh.
Can you remove the chat thing?
Yeah. Okay.
In the 14th chapter, it was clearly explained that by humbly developing knowledge, one may possibly be freed from material entanglement.
Right. So that is the last chapter we saw from text 8 to 12. Amanitvam madambitvam. That's now Varun chanted that, right? So that is humility with what is humility?
You mean like not being a braggart and not bragging at all?
Right, Divyansh, very nice. And also not having, oh, everyone should praise me. We shouldn't be so anxious for the praise. We do everything for praise in this world, right? Good job, marks, lollipop, toys. Then the same way, when we grow up, we want constant praise from others. If anyone says, no, you're not up to the mark, then our ego gets hurt. So that is not humility. Humility means not having the satisfaction of being honored by others. Okay. So we saw that how knowledge starts with humility, and then there is steadiness, self-control, and how Krishna, and we do the devotional service to the Lord. And finally, we have the knowledge of the Lord, right? Okay. Then it has also been explained that it is due to association with the modes of nature that the living entity is entangled in this world. Who can explain this line to me? What does modes of nature mean? What does association mean? What does living entity mean? What does entangled mean? Who wants to explain? Just give a little explanation of this. Prahlad, are you playing? Oh, why no one is talking today?
Mataji, I'm eating. That's why.
Oh, okay. So what is a shloka? We read, right? So the living entity, sometimes if he's in the mode of goodness, then he takes birth in good species. If he's in the mode of passion, then he takes birth in a neutral species. If he's more in the mode of ignorance, then he takes birth in lower species. And that way his thing continues on and on. That's because of the association with the modes of nature. So that is why the living entity is entangled. Who is the living entity? Can you give one example of the living entity? Who can give an example of the one living entity?
us?
Yes, Varun, good job, Varun. Yes, us. It is we who are going from one body to another because of the association of the modes of nature. So, now, after telling all this in different chapters, what is Krishna explaining here? Because he almost ended the 13th chapter telling that because of the association of the modes of nature, we keep transmigrating. I'm sorry. Anyone wants to read the slide? Who's that? Who's available? Divyansh, Aditya.
I can read it again,
Yes, go ahead.
but then after this, I'll have to start eating.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem.
Now, in this chapter, the Supreme Personality explains what those modes of nature are, how they act, how they bind, and how they give liberation. The knowledge explained in this chapter is proclaimed by the Supreme Lord to be superior to the knowledge given so far in other chapters.
Yes, Divyansh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So Krishna, Krishna explains in this chapter what those modes of nature are, how they act, because we need to know how they act. Otherwise, how will we know how to choose be in the mode of goodness, and how they bind? How, like they are, see, this is like the modes of nature are like the controller of the puppets, and we are like puppets. So we are being controlled by the modes of nature like this. So how they are doing this? We don't see anyone like a puppet holding up and down like that. But really they are binding. So how they bind, and then how they give liberation. Also, they all not only bind, they also give liberation, means freedom from these modes. So this knowledge is explained, and this knowledge is superior to the knowledge given so far in the other chapters, means it is more in depth. Just like if you want to study about one thing, it's like one door is opening, then the other door, then the other door, then the other door, and you're coming so close to the treasure. Like that way, in each chapter, Krishna is opening one door for us, giving out one knowledge that is more in detail than what he spoke in the previous chapter. So this knowledge, in comparison, that it is giving an explanation how we are bound and how we can be liberated. So that's what he's going to say in this chapter. Are you all eager to know?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Divyansh. Okay, anybody else wants to read this slide? Or should I call out?
Mataji, can I?
Yes, Varun.
Okay, should I read like the first bullet point, or like should I read the entire?
No, everything, entire.
Okay. By understanding this knowledge, various great sages attain perfection and transfer to the spiritual world. The Lord now explains the same knowledge in a better way. This knowledge is far, far superior to all other processes of knowledge, thus far explained, and knowing this, many attain perfection. Thus it is expected that one who understands this 14th chapter will attain perfection.
Wow. You see? So that's what it is said, that if we understand the 14th chapter, we attain perfection. Why? What is the evidence that Krishna is giving for this? That if you understand the 14th chapter, you will attain perfection. The answer is there in this in the 3 bullet points. Did you understand my question? What is the evidence that by understanding the 14th chapter, we will attain perfection? Okay, I'm going to narrow down. It's in the first bullet point. Let me see who's intelligent enough to find the answer. Prahlad,
Yes, Mataji.
can you answer the question? You want to know what the question is?
Yes.
So Krishna says that by understanding the 14th chapter, we will attain perfection, right? What is the evidence Krishna is giving?
Can you repeat it?
Okay, Krishna says in this shloka, this is the first shloka of the 14th chapter, that by understanding this 14th chapter, we will attain perfection, right?
Yes.
How does he say that? Or can you tell me some textual evidence or proof of why we would attain perfection if we know the 14th chapter?
We will attain perfection because everyone has, and it's pretty much guaranteed because all the great souls and sages have.
Very good. That's the point. Yes, Prahlad, good job. So great sages have attained perfection, right? So he's saying by knowing this knowledge, great sages have attained perfection. And so for sure, we will also attain perfection. Who wants to attain perfection? Raise your hands. No one? I want to attain perfection. Okay, let's see the story of the great sages. So, who knows the story of Vishwamitra? Do you already know, or shall I say the story? Vishwamitra basically was a king. His name was King Kaushika. So when once he saw the Kamadhenu, the cow that Vashishta Muni had, so he wanted to possess that cow because that cow is not an ordinary cow. When King Kaushika with his entire army came, the sage fed everyone sumptuously. How come that, the sage had this? Because the dishes kept coming from Kamadhenu, like that. Nobody needs to cook anything. She was just giving gulab jamuns and rasgullas and pizzas and ice creams and dal and rice and sabji unlimitedly. So Kaushika thought, I want this. Why does the sage need to have this? But then even when he attacked Vashishta with all the things, he was defeated by the power of Vashishta's penance, tapasya. So he thought, actually, the power of the tapasya is more than the power of the king. So why am I wasting time being the king? And he started doing tapasya or penance in order to get more powers. And in between, so many things happened. Menaka came. Indra sent Menaka. She was like a celestial dancer. She came and then she she distracted him. And then a baby was born. That was Shakuntala. Then again, Vishwamitra felt that, oh my God, how I lost the power of tapasya. So again, he started doing tapasya. Then there was this Trishanku. He came and asked that I want to go to Swarga in this body only, but no one can go to the heavenly planets in the self-same body. So Indra was pushing him down. Vishwamitra actually, because of his power of his austerity, he made Trishanku go up, and he made him almost enter into the heavenly planets, but Indra pushed him down. So he was coming down, 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 and he was upside down. And Vishwamitra said, stop, you don't come back here, you be there only. So he's still upside down. They say that Trishanku is still upside down. So like this way, some of his powers were again gone. Then again, he started doing tapasya and austerity. And finally, he became Brahma Rishi. He's a Raja Rishi because he was basically a king and then he became a Brahmana. But his life is an example of how powerful the distractions on the path of bhakti are, or any path are. Any path, even bhakti. So we have distractions and we shouldn't yield to them. But he continuously did the tapasya and he's one of them. Then he became Brahma Rishi and he's the one who he took Rama and Lakshmana to the forest first to kill Tataka, and he also was one of the very few sages who wrote a part of Rig Veda, and he knows exactly the thing of Gayatri Mantra. So this is an example of how great sages, by understanding that, although some mistakes were made, but they understood from that, I am in the mode of passion, I am in the mode of ignorance, and I need to go above. So like that way, he attained perfection. And the second sage is Narada Muni. Do you know who was Narada Muni in his previous life?
He was like a small kid, right?
Yes, he was a small kid. And
his mom died at a young age. He was a mom of he was the son of a, what was it?
Maid servant.
Maid servant, yeah.
Very good, Aditya Kasturi. Yes, he was the son of a maid servant and he had a great opportunity to serve the great Bhakti Vedantas or Rishis. And so the great sages, so they bestowed him some service and their remnants, and then so he became very thoroughly spiritually enlivened, and when he was only 5 years old, his mom passed away. But still he was not feeling, he did not get dejected. He kept continuing his austerity. He visited many different places, and then he went to the forest, and when he was closing his eyes and he was meditating, he saw Vishnu, Lord Narayana. He saw Lord Narayana. He was so happy. But the Lord said that in this life, I can only give you a glimpse of this darshan, but you continue your devotional services, and the next life you'll be born a son, Brahma's son, and you will have a unique nature, that you have a spiritual transcendental body. And with that spiritual transcendental body, you can travel anywhere and everywhere in all the planetary systems. So that was his power. So he continued his devotional service, and then the next birth, he was born as Narada Muni. You see, by the association of these are the some of the great sages who attained perfection by knowing the science. But do you know the story of Nahusha? Anyone knows here? Nahusha was a great king, and what he did, Nahusha was such a powerful, very righteous and virtuous and wise king on earth. He was a forefather of the Pandavas. That in the heaven, when there was when Indra couldn't be there as a king, they asked Nahusha to become the king of heaven, which is very rare. He is from this earthly planet, but he was asked to come there to the heavenly planets to become the king of the heaven. So he went there and he became the king of the heaven, but because of the power and the opulence, and slowly he got proud and he fell down. And what happened? Once he was asking the Sapta Rishis, great sages, to carry his palanquin. And they were carrying the palanquin, and he said, fast, go fast, sarpa, sarpa. So they got angry and they said, I curse you to become a sarpa, or a big serpent. So he fell down and he became a huge serpent. And the serpent, they said that it is so huge that even a mountain it can encircle. So one day Bhima, when they were living in the forest, Bhima came across the serpent, and Bhima was caught in the coils of the serpent like anything. and the serpent was about to eat Bhima. And then the serpent said that, I want to eat. But then the Bhima said that you are talking and you look to be wise. Why are you eating? How have you got this body? Then he said that long ago, I forgot how long ago, but I was cursed to become this. And Nahusha, I cursed to become a serpent. And they said that someone who's very righteous, who can answer my question, when he answers and when I capture the strongest person on the planet, at that time I'll get relieved from this body. But since then, I'm waiting. So then Bhima thought, that's it, I'm gone. So Yudhishthira came looking for Bhima. And then Bhima said, oh dear brother, I vowed to kill Duryodhan. Now I'm going to die, definitely. And now you're only going to be 4 people alive, but please kill Duryodhan on my behalf, because it's my vow and I'm going to be killed by the serpent now. Yudhishthira was amazed. Bhima has the power of 10,000 elephants. Why is he playing with the serpent? So Yudhishthira said, don't play Bhima, kill the serpent. I know you're capable. But Bhima said, no, this time I'm losing. I'm not able to even move. And this serpent is not an ordinary serpent. And he says that he's Nahusha. Then immediately Yudhishthira said, what? Is he Nahusha? And he offered obeisances. Bhima said, oh my God, already he's going to eat me. Why are you offering obeisances? He's going to eat you too. Then the 3 of the brothers will be allowed. Run away. Then he said, Bhima, you don't know. I have heard about the Nahusha from the great sages. Then the serpent turned around. Then Nahusha started talking to Yudhishthira and he started asking various questions, and Yudhishthira answered all the questions very nicely. And the last thing he asked was, what is the best of the quality of a wise person? And Yudhishthira answered that it is humility. So Nahusha was very pleased that you are the wise person and you are the humblest of all. You are endowed with all knowledge. And as and when he was hearing all the answers to the questions, he relinquished his snake body and he became a celestial again, and Bhima was released. So this is again another story of how, because of the association of the modes of nature, we may end up being any animal species also. So should we be careful or no? We should be careful, right? Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
So how to be careful? Can anyone answer how we can be careful? Oh, it's time, huh? We need to be careful by taking shelter of Krishna and devotional service, at least in the mode of goodness. Like Vinita Gandharvika Mataji gets up every day in the morning, very regularly at 4 o'clock, and she chants. So like that way, if we all chant in the morning, start our day with chanting, and we are doing all devotional service, then we'll be in the mode of goodness and we can cross over the modes very easily. Okay? If we are not chanting, then I'm not sure whether we'll become a python, tiger, an insect, a monkey, anything we can become if we are not chanting. So it's better we chant. Who all wants to chant every day?
I will, Mataji.
Thank you. So can anyone share, at least a few, share your takeaway point in this class? I especially like Srilasya's takeaway point. She's very good in that. Do you want to share, Srilasya?
Wait, so we're ending this class? So like
Yes.
what?
Yes, we ending the class. I'm sorry, I don't have Kahoot today and it's also very late. But I want you to share one point that you learned today.
No, wait, so are we ending the whole like class? Like we're not gonna have class again? Or is it just like the class for today?
Yeah, just the class for today. If Krishna is willing and we are all good, we will continue this class next Monday again, but I want to finish this class now. And but before that, I'm going to ask this a regular thing. I want at least 1 or 2 kids to share some points that you learned today from the class.
There are like 3 modes of nature, and basically you want to become in the you want to go in the good mode of nature where you are devoted to Krishna and you have absolutely no material necessities. So therefore, yeah, you must devote.
Very nice. Thank you, Divyansh. That was so nice. Who else? Varun?
So one thing I learned is like how important the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is.
Wonderful, Varun. Yes. Thank you, Varun. That was the first slide, how important this chapter of Bhagavad Gita is. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining in, and we'll see you again. But please memorize this verse, and we will see you again with the next important verse from the 14th chapter, by which we will all attain supreme perfection. So let's not miss this chance. We will learn together. Okay?
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. You can close for
Srila
everyone,
Prabhupada
Mataji.
ki jai. Yes, Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.